Hi guys, Mr. Waffles here. Admittedly, I just ran home thinking that this trailer was going to be for World War II Zombies. Turns out that, even from the title alone, I should have known that it's not. It's Infinite Warfare related, but I want to talk about it in the context of World War II Zombies and in the context of Black Ops 4 Zombies, or whatever that game's going to be called, a year from now, okay? Because if you think about it, 1 year from now, we're going to be about to play Treyarch's next Zombies installment, which is blooming mind-blowing. But without further ado, let's at least watch this trailer, react to it, and then talk about why I feel like this is even relevant on the channel in the first place in the context of those other games that aren't Infinite Warfare, okay? So, without further ado, let's make sure we're at the beginning. Of course we are, and let's begin. Whew! Infinite Warfare, there we go. Halloween Scream from Willard Wyler. Whoop! Very nice. MP playlist, okay. I do like the taunts, I think they are pretty cool, to be honest. Weekly giveaways and themed loot. Okay, that's cool. Okay. That's pretty cool. Boss battles. Here we go. October 9th to November 1st. Boy! So, October 9th is today. So this is from today until 2 days before Call of Duty World War II actually launches. So clearly, what they're doing with this release, I can take these off now I suppose, is basically filling time between the end of DLC 4 of Infinite Warfare and the beginning of DLC 0 of Call of Duty World War II. That Zombies installment obviously is coming out on November 3rd, and there's this gap that a lot of Zombies YouTubers have been moaning about, myself to some extent included, basically saying that there's a lot of disinterest in Zombies content right now just because people are going back to school, and that combined with not really very much information about World War II Zombies itself means that there's a bit of a lull really in hype for the game, interest in videos, etc. So this is cool, this is going to fill that gap to some extent at least, and they have a bunch of boss battles in here, but they haven't really described exactly what they mean by it. It turns out that on the Activision blog, they've actually detailed it properly. It says it wouldn't be Halloween without monsters, and Infinite Warfare Zombies mode has those in spades. The big bosses of Infinite Warfare are looking for a challenge this October, and it will be up to you and your friends to defeat them in the all-new boss battle. If you wanted to tackle the final boss of your favourite Infinite Warfare Zombies episode, but had trouble figuring out the main Easter egg, then this mode is for you, as you'll skip straight to the climactic fight with the loadout of your choice. The first episode, Zombies in Spaceland, will be available in boss battle throughout the Halloween Scream event, so you'll have more than enough time to annihilate some aliens. As for the 4 DLC episodes, they'll be available to play in boss battle on a week-by-week basis. That means you'll be able to slice up the Slasher and Raven the Redwoods one week, then slide into the Rat King and Shaolin Shuffle the next, before you make a seafood salad in Attack of the Giant Radioactive Thing. They got the name of their own DLC wrong, or rather their own Zombies map wrong. LOL? Do they not? What? Just Attack of the Giant Radioactive Thing, which is not its name, and then head to the ultimate battle in Beast from Beyond. Of course, if you love the challenge and satisfaction of figuring out a Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg, you'll still be able to play Zombies episodes normally during the Halloween Scream event. All trees, no tricks, so they're talking about the rewards here as well. During Halloween Scream, you'll be gifted a free Halloween-themed supply drop at the beginning of each week. This free supply drop may contain weapon variants, camos, a calling card, or even a brand new zombie-themed rig skin. Each week, Willard Wyler will bring in new loot to his Halloween Scream, and you can get a hint of what he'll drop on the official Call of Duty Infinite Warfare website. You'll also get a free cosmetic item every Friday during Willard Wyler's Halloween Scream event, along with one final spooky present the final week that you won't want to miss. To receive the free items during Halloween Scream, you need to log into multiplayer between Monday and Friday. Why are they releasing goodies in multiplayer when it's a Zombies event? It's meant to be a Halloween Scream! Oh, this infuriates me so much, and basically feeds exactly into what I'm going to be talking about for the rest of this video. Call of Duty just don't get it. Jesus Christ. Now, though, I want to talk about the weekly giveaways and themed loot, and actually about this entire thing as a whole, okay? This is being referred to as Willard Wyler's, so obviously it's Infinite Warfare specific, but Willard Wyler's Halloween Scream, and it's another instance of Call of Duty seeing the formula that has worked so well in another Activision Blizzard product, Overwatch, and going, oh my goodness, I want to cash in on that. I want to cash in on that. I want some of that moolah. Like, seriously, seasonal events, themed events like this are so good for a game, and they, by all means, are going to generate more revenue for Call of Duty, so it's a good thing for them, and it's a great thing for us, because it means more content throughout more of the year, more variety, more time-sensitive things, which are always so good for a community. To get a feel of something being very limited, happening for a month, and you have to have been there in that period of the game's existence in order to have experienced it and to have enjoyed it. I mean, think of the model, for example, of World of Warcraft from way, way back in the day. That was really the first game, certainly that I can think of, or that I'm aware of at least, that blew up in such a way that you ask people about it now and they're like, man, you had to be there during the vanilla WoW years. You had to be there during the early years because there was so much going on in those original versions and expansions of the game that you just don't get now. And similarly, if they can cultivate that same kind of environment for zombies, in my opinion, it will be really, really cool because there'll be people going, man, if you were there for vanilla Black Ops 4, it was a crazy amazing time, and then there was this seasonal event there, and maybe in the context of Overwatch you go, man, Lucio Ball, when they first released that, was so much fun, but it was a limited amount of time, and so there was a huge amount of demand for it to come back, and that meant that they had a product that there was a lot of demand for, but no supply, because they controlled the entirety of the supply, so they could basically play with the community a little bit and be like, yep, you want Lucio Ball? Okay, here it is back again, at a time when they might not have had any other content available. Essentially, what I'm rambling about here is the fact that seasonal events are king, and they are here to stay for the next generation of games, essentially. And as such, it's absolutely fantastic to see that Call of Duty is at least trying to embrace them into its content cycle. However, that was a long sentence, or a long little paragraph, or whatever you want to call it, a long point I just made, but there is a however. Call of Duty so far hasn't ever got it right, which is quite unfortunate, I guess you could say, speaking as a Zombies fan who obviously wants to see the mode progress, wants to see the mode get bigger. I want the community to be bigger, I want absolutely everything about the game to be more fun, of course, because then I'll enjoy it more, you'll enjoy it more, we'll all be happier campers. The unfortunate thing about Call of Duty's approach so far is it's shown that they haven't really understood what makes these kind of seasonal events or thematic events work. And there have been moments of greatness for sure, but I think the example that I'm going to come back to, and that pretty much everyone else is going to come back to for this foreseeable future, is when Chronicles came out, they attempted 8 Days of the Undead, and then it turned into sort of 2 weeks of the Undead, and then it turned into just 8 Days of the Dead, and then it wasn't even an event anymore, and then they didn't really give any rewards, or they weren't clear what the rewards were. And, I mean, in this, they're saying weekly themed giveaways and items and stuff like that. That's all well and good if you've got that as your little sort of tagline, but if you don't deliver, or the fan doesn't realise that you've delivered, and you have delivered, that's potentially even worse, in fact, you're just doing a shoddy job. And so, I really hope that, certainly with this event that's starting now, I don't know what's going to be contained in it exactly, but hopefully with this event, and certainly the ones in World War II Zombies, because they will be here to stay, mark my words, they finally grasp the fact that it is so important that if they're going to give the player a reward, tell them what the reward is at the beginning, maybe, or say there will be rewards like they are here, but then actually let the player know when the reward is disseminated amongst the community, or make it clearer what the kind of conversion process is from doing something in-game to reward, or something like that. The issue that they had with 8 Days of the Undead is that they basically mentioned it in a couple of little sort of messages of the day in-game and stuff like that, a couple of tweets, but then beyond that, it felt like you just weren't in an event. It just didn't feel like there was a change at all. If they'd done something like, for example, thematic change to Shadows of Evil, this is the cliched example that everyone's talked about. I've had hours and hours of conversations with Alex about this because he's been pushing seasonal events for ages as well. If they had managed to do something like Shadows of Evil, put a Santa hat on the big worm in the middle or something, like something that basic would at least make you feel like you were in a limited time event that was just cool because it not only affected the sort of metagame of Twitter and the messages of the day and stuff like that, but also the game itself. They've only done that, to the best of my knowledge, once, and that was the first Valentine's Day update they ever did, where you'd have to, like, go into Nightmares mode, kill some zombies, and then go back to regular zombies and the blood splatters were replaced with hearts or something. It was convoluted as hell. Hardly anyone knew that it was going on. I couldn't even get it to work properly. It was a mess. But it was a start, and it was the first seasonal event, as far as I'm aware at least, that had been done in that style ever in zombies before. And the fact that they just haven't really grasped it yet, and it's been 2 years since... Wait, has it been 2 years? That was the start of Black Ops 3, so the rest of Black Ops 3... and then basically all of Infinite Warfare, so yeah, 1 year and 3/4, something like that. Well, 1.5 years. It's been a while, at least, and they still haven't really done something like Overwatch has managed to do so many times now, of really wrapping the player base into whatever event it is that they're planning or doing at a certain time, and just making them feel like this is a really amazing addition to the fun that the fan might already be having playing the game in its normal vanilla state. Wow, that was a bit of a ramble. Wow, this is something that I'm more passionate about than I think I realised. And wow, it's been nice to talk to you guys about this, but I want to hear your opinions, okay? If there was to be a seasonal event for World War II zombies, this is quite important if you think about it. If there's going to be a seasonal event for World War II zombies, how do they do it in a way that still respects the base game, because they're going for a scary, gritty, dark, horror experience for World War II zombies? How do they respect that base game while also injecting some life that should not, and by all means really has no place being there, okay? It shouldn't be there in the first place. How do they do that injection without ruining the experience? For example, it's Christmas. How do you make World War II zombies Christmassy without making it bells and whistles and Santa flying around and stuff like that, and really degrading the experience? Because you could say basic things like, well, make it snowy and stuff like that, but I think that there are also smarter things that you could do as a designer in order to really kind of inject the mode with a new feel, a new kind of atmosphere, while still at the same time maintaining that base experience that isn't just adding snow, because that is the most common example that comes around every single time this topic comes up, and it's valid. I mean, I'd have loved a snowy Shadows of Evil, that would have been cool, but I feel like there's more that could be explored, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on what those things could be, because if there's anything particularly ingenious that I see in the comment section down below, you never know, I might make a video on it, signal boost it, suggest it to the devs, and I mean, it wouldn't be an unheard of act for them to see something that a YouTuber was saying and signal boosting from the community and go, you know what? That's actually an idea that we want to implement. So think of it this way. If you can think of some really creative, themed or seasonal events that they could implement in really smart ways in the next year with World War II zombies, or indeed when Treyarch rolls around with their next title, which I'm so freaking excited about, and it hasn't even been announced yet, let alone got close to announced. We're still 6 months away from that. But if you can think of any ideas like that, and we can get them signal boosted, maybe they'll happen. My fingers are crossed for sure, because I love the idea of these things, and I mean, I ran home to watch this video, this trailer, because I thought that this was an announcement for a seasonal event for World War II zombies, and my mind was exploding, so I was really excited, still fairly excited, even though at this point World War II zombies is massively, massively more interesting to me than Infinite Warfare zombies, just because we're at the end of the cycle now, and World War II zombies is this big enigma that they're just not giving us any info on, and I want to know more, and I want to know more now! Oh my goodness me, it frustrates me so much, literally. Where is the info? Where is it? No, I know the leaks are out, but I'm not looking at the leaks. Where is the proper info, the legit info, the info from the devs themselves? Where is the marketing? Where is it all? I'm Mr. Ruffles. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you've enjoyed it and felt my enthusiasm kind of lighting a little fire in you, maybe, then drop a like on the video. That would be fantastic. But yeah, I'm Mr. Ruffles. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.